How does it feel? Well, pretty blue, I guess. Coast FM 963, you're on Roar and More. Angus Hammer with you as always between 7 and 9 p.m. on this beautiful winter's evening. Very nippy indeed on Monday the 14th of July 2025. But that's okay. I'm here to warm you up with some fantastic tunes and yarns over the next couple of hours alongside two of the best in the business. Joining me in the studio right now, we have the evergreen, never missed a show, Stephen Wheatley. How are you going today, sir?
Well, I'll tell you what, mate, I'm not feeling blue because I'm here with you amazing gents on this great night.
Oh, that's really sweet. And especially being alongside your bro over there, bro Brando Macmillan. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great after these wonderful compliments. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know, right? There's nothing better. There's no better way to warm each other up than by complimenting each other. I've noticed that there's been none fired my way just yet. Feel free to do so.
Not on air, at least.
Oh, yeah. Well, lads, it's a bit of a blue Monday. New Order right there with their 1983 hit single because, well, we had a blue Wednesday last week, to say the very least. We'll get more in depth on that very shortly. But first, what's one thing you guys got up to over the weekend, Brando?
Oh, well, let's get out of the way. Paralaw.
Oh, yeah, it was a great game yesterday, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah, no, it was absolutely a great game.
Actually, I will say, good first half. And then, Penrith, they brought on this random, untested substitute wearing number 19 on his back. His name was Nathan Cleary. They had him on the bench. I wasn't sure they were going to use him, but he came on and then they just scored like 30 points out of nowhere. This kid's going to be pretty good in the future, I'd say.
Yeah, he might have a bit of a career ahead of him. If he keeps going the way he's going, he might even play State of Origin.
You say that, but has he really done anything for Origin?
Yeah, no. He actually still is none from 4 when it comes to game 3s. So maybe not the best choice for Origin, but
not the best kicker either.
No, that's what let us down big time this series. But Brando, Para started very well yesterday. When did you start losing hope?
Honestly, when I saw that they were playing against Penrith.
But from the kickoff.
Yeah. They started so good though. They scored a couple of tries. They were leading. They scored a couple of great tries. The fans were stoked.
That is true. Look, I'm very happy. But I saw the writing on the wall, so to speak.
That's true. So you kind of accepted your fate,
yeah.
Nice and early. Penrith have now won 5 games in a row, Steve, and I really hate to say it, but I think they're back.
Oh, man, I never had any doubt that I knew looking at Penrith, even for those couple of weeks that they were in last place, I never had a doubt that they were going to stay there for the rest of the year. You were kidding if you think so.
Hey, it's okay. We've won 3 in a row, technically, including the tight one against the Bye this weekend.
Oh, the Bye, just well-maintained team. They play that well. It's like for the opposition, they're not even there.
Yeah, exactly. They just you can't see them. They run rings around you, but we got through it. 3 in a row for us. We're on your heels, Penrith. By the way, a couple of our favourites are not here this evening. Finn Smith-O'Brien couldn't make it. James O'Brien's at his other workplace at the Crown Plaza, but Brando, he was telling us that he had a couple of UFC highlights to share with us. I think you'll be giving that to us very shortly as well.
Yes, indeed.
But first, we're going to keep the blue theme going to start things off with a bit of Aussie indie rock. This is Blue Juice. I guess that's why they call it the New South Wales Blues. Coast FM 963. You're on Roar and More. Engo, Brando and Steve-O with you this evening. And yes, the New South Wales Blues well and truly gave us the blues on Wednesday night. Myself and Steve and a few others, well, quite a lot actually, got the chance to watch it at the Sunny Coast Leagues down the road here on the big screen. And good turnout. Not a lot of cheering though. Awful night. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, no, the sports lounge there at Central Coast Leagues Club was a bit quiet for most of the night.
I will say New South Wales played a really good game for the first 10 minutes.
Yes. you're so right. Because they were attacking so well to start the game off, and it really looked like they were going to go far and go close to scoring. They nearly scored a couple of times in the first 10 minutes. And then, I don't know who it was, it might have been Luai, kicked it. It was caught in the end goal by Queensland. They had a 7 tackle set, got a penalty at the other end, 2-0, and we just never looked like coming back after that.
No, we didn't. Look, it's even really hard for me to say this, but I was talking to to a few people a couple of days after Origin, and I think you even said it right last week, mate, that Queensland, they feed off emotion, and there was a lot of things that they had going for them going into that game. You had Papali'i from the Raiders, who was going to be his very last Origin, and obviously he had his son and his family there. He wanted to put in a really good performance for his son, and being that his last performance, to say to his son, like, you know, if you put in the hard work and all that, you can be like this one day. Cameron Munster with his dad passing away. I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was going to be hard. It was going to be hard either way. I mean, I'm not going to say that maybe if Mitch Barnett or maybe a certain player who names ends with itch was in the side. It may have made a difference. Probably not, but yeah.
I'm sure Pat from Narara had a good time watching the game.
Yeah, Pat, we haven't heard from Pat tonight, so Pat, if you're listening feel free to give us grief. I will say there was one victor, actually, I've just realised, on Wednesday night, and that was me, because I was the only person on our show last week that tipped Queensland to win. So,
Wow.
Wow.
What do I win, guys?
Wow.
What do I win?
Not our respect.
No. Actually, I might be chased out of the state with pitchforks and torches, actually, admitting that. No, but I took it to heart, actually. Steve can vouch for this. I ran off. I went missing. And Steve and James, not going to lie, they found me in the bathroom, sitting on the floor. Wasn't crying. I want to make it very clear. I was just wallowing.
You sure? Because your face had quite a bit amount of...
as if you saw that.
Well, mate, I hope you're going to be all right for the rest of the week, because, if that was hard enough for you to be able to watch that on Wednesday, you know who Manly's playing this week, right?
Who are we against? I actually don't know.
We're playing Melbourne in Melbourne.
You're kidding me, right? As I was just getting over that?
Yeah.
Oof. Well, that's going to be fun. What day is it, and what am I doing that day? Why can't I watch it? But
I'm sure you'll think of a reason.
Thank you. And actually, Brando, I don't think we asked, where were you when you watched the Origin?
I watched it at home, and I wasn't happy like the rest of yous. But UFC was on Sunday, and I promised James he will talk about it.
That's right. This is his wheelhouse. He's not with us, so you're the expert tonight, sir.
Yes. Now, I won't talk about all the games, but I will mention that Derek Lewis versus Taliesin, he has a surname that I will... Teixeira. I always get it wrong. And Lewis knocked him out under a minute, 35 seconds to be exact.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and old Derek, he did his traditional,
his celebration, his traditional post-fight victory lap.
Yes, and to those who don't know, he does a little victory lap, pants off, He
takes the shorts off because his balls was hot. We can say that because it's verbatim. It didn't come out of my mouth.
and he was marking his territory, acting like a dog. He didn't actually, went all the way out.
I'm very glad to hear that. That's good news. What else do we have?
So we had Stephen Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim. I always get these surnames wrong.
You're nailing it, I reckon.
And Calvin Cutter and Steve Garcia. Both did 3 rounds, but I thought I mentioned the Derek Lewis fight because that was under a minute.
Yeah, that's impressive. He on his day, he's one of the most powerful strikers out there, and I know Jamesy's a big fan of his, and he'll be thrilled that Derek got a mention, and his shorts as well, and what's underneath them too. At least they weren't blue balls like the ones we had on Wednesday.
Oh no. Well, I mean, we didn't have those, but we were definitely feeling a bit blue on the outside and
inside, definitely. Well, the blue theme's going to keep going before we hear from Brando's good vibe of the night. That's coming up shortly, right after this. Yeah, we're feeling nice and blue in here this evening. A very blue Monday on Coast FM 963. You're on Raw and More. Engo, Brando and Steve-O with you. That right there was Eiffel 65, Italian electronic act with their hit single from the late 90s, Blue Dabba Dabba. That's actually the full name. Fun fact.
It is. Well, speaking of fun facts, actually, that was actually the first album that I actually ever owned that CD.
Wow. So when did you get it? When you were a kid?
Yeah. Yeah, so it was about 98, 97 that came out. But yeah, no, I was still a kid when that came out, and yeah, that was the first ever CD I ever owned. I remember playing it, listening to it on the old CD player, or when you used to be able to play old CDs on the PlayStation.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that's
my first CD was Crazy Frog.
That's still the Crazy Frog.
I think mine would have been Top of the Tots by the Wiggles. Or Jump and Jive with High Five.
Quite the collection there, quite the collection.
I know, right? Go-to children's music. Speaking of segments that are go-to, it's time for... Hang on a second, this isn't the good vibe of the night, it's the Three Stooges theme song. Oh, because there's three of us and we're Stooges.
Geez, you guys.
Who put that in there?
I wonder who that could be. Maybe this wise guy over here.
Look at these wise cracking fools over here. Hopefully the walls don't cave in on us now with a little gag like that. No, it's actually time for... a segment that makes you feel good inside even when everyone else is blue. It's Brando's Good Vibe of the Night. Ooh, yeah. That's right, it's Brando's Good Vibe of the Night, the segment where he dives deep into his own personal playlist, pulls out a song or two that he thinks has immaculate vibes, slaps it out there on the Coast FM airwaves and hopes that you, yes you, Pat from Narara who just called in gloating, enjoys it as much as he does. Brando, I heard that you're quite excited about this new track by, would you believe it, quite a well-known artist.
Yes, and also fun fact, this was a band I've, wanted to play before, but Steve says no, but they got a new single out. There's a cool saxophone solo, so might be a contender for the saxophone solo of the week. Ooh. It is, I forgot the song for a little bit. No, it is All Night by Maroon 5.
There you go, Steve. How do you feel about him sneaking Maroon 5 past you?
No, you're not. I don't mind it. I think go for it, mate. If it's been a while, then let's do it.
Oh, there you go.
I literally suggested a Maroon 5 song before, and he's like, no, we're not playing that.
Well, Steve's had a change of heart. Maybe he's mellowed after the series loss.
Yeah. Still feeling it as I just don't care anymore.
Well, I actually haven't heard this one, so I'm really excited to hear the sax solo in it. Without further ado, here is Maroon 5 with
All Night.
Oh, yeah. We love a bit of sax appeal on Coast FM 963. You're on Raw and More. Ango, Brando and Steve-O with you. That right there was Brando's Good Vibe of the Night, which was...
All Night by Steve's favourite band, Maroon 5.
They sure are. Not really.
And I tell you what, actually, it could be his new favourite band because we have witnesses here that Steve was actually having a little boogie to that one. So, care to comment on your boogie, Steve, to Maroon 5?
No, I was not dancing. I was just stretching.
Oh, okay. Well, those stretches were very groovy, I must say. I love the sax solo, actually. Not going to lie, when Brando mentioned there was a sax in that, my ears pricked up, and I thought to myself, sax solo of the week? Maybe even sax solo of the year?
Yes,
Who knows?
Yes. Yeah.
Coming from America, of all things, and Maroon 5 of all bands.
Hey, Maroon 5's a great band, man.
No, I agree. Their early stuff, goated.
Yes, absolutely.
Their later stuff,
no, there's some good stuff. Come on.
Well, that song was good.
Yeah, that song's good, yeah. The new album's going to be great.
I hope so.
Don't look at me like that, Steve. I'm telling the truth.
Well, on that bombshell, it's time for...
Two songs, they sound exactly alike.
Really?
Yes, these are two songs.
What are they?
Yes, they sound alike.
Hang on, these songs sound just alike.
Hey, it's funny that, because it's sound-alikes, and normally this is the segment where I give you two songs where one's an original, one takes a little bit of inspiration from the original, whether it come in the form of a sample, a re-recording, or even just like stealing little bits and pieces of the melody. But tonight, because we're the Three Stooges and we're getting a bit silly, a bit blue, I thought I might change things up a little bit with tonight's Sound Alike segment and give you two songs that Well, one of which has been stuck in my head pretty much for the whole last week straight, and I had to get it out there on the airwaves to kind of get it out of my system.
It's annoying when that happens, isn't it?
I know, right? It's the absolute worst. But one thing I love to do when I'm listening to songs that I really am into is I like to look them up and, get all the facts and the people behind making them. And one thing I discovered, which I found very, very interesting about this first song, is the man who produced it is the same person responsible for a lot of our favourite tunes from the late 90s. So when we come back, I want to ask you guys, what do these two songs in front of us have in common? What makes them sound alike in the production ranks? Starting off with the earworm in question. This one's by UK rockers Corner Shop, and it's called Brimful of Asher.
Oh, I might be doing a bit of dancing for this one.
Oh, I'm definitely having a boogie on the 45.
Yeah.
For those tunes on Coast FM 963, you're on Raw and Morango, Brando Stevo with you. We're in the midst of a segment right now called Soundalikes, where normally I give you one original song, one song that took a bit of inspiration from the original, I guess we should say. But in this occasion, I thought, you know what, we've done that quite a lot. Let's spice it up a little bit and do Soundalikes in a different way. I just gave you two songs that were quite big hits out of the UK in the late 90s. Corner Shop at the top there with Brimful of Asher, and the song you just heard was Fatboy Slim with Praise You. It's up to these guys to tell me what makes those songs sound alike. What do they have in common with each other? All
right, I'll start. So everyone listen, okay? I got it.
Okay, Professor.
Okay, we're listening.
I don't know.
Wise words. All right, Steve, what do you reckon? You could outsmart Professor McMillan here.
Macmillan, thank you very much.
I said what I said.
Oh, well, I got no idea either. I really don't.
All right, I'll give you a hint. It's kind of in the production.
Yeah, we still have no idea. We know what you meant the first time, Angus.
Okay, who produced that last song?
We don't know.
I literally said his name.
Fatboy Slim.
Yes. Who produced the first song?
Fatboy Slim.
Well done, you got it correct.
I was first, so I won.
Wow. Well, no, hang on. Isn't that a tie?
I think that was a collaboration. But yeah, I was doing some research on the first one, Corner Shop's Brimful of Asher. That's kind of like an upbeat version of it that was mixed by a man named Norman Cook, which is Fatboy Slim's regular name, human name, I guess you could say.
So it's not his stage
name. But the crazy thing is, that was before he became Fatboy Slim that he produced that song. It was 2 years after that song's release that he released the famous You're Gonna Go a Long Way, Baby, with songs like Praise You on it, The Rockefeller Skank, and he went on to make some of the biggest big beat house music to come out of the UK in the early 2000s.
Don't do this again, all right? You made me and Steve look dumb in front of the listeners.
Alrighty,
I've never been so embarrassed.
Look at the good news, Brando. It's just like Parramatta. We didn't do bad, but we didn't do great. So we'll share the points on this one.
I thought you were about to say, like, how could he possibly be embarrassed? He already supports Parramatta. But I was more brutal. I do apologise for that, Brando. And your family who are listening in. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Macmillan. Maybe this will cheer you up. My good vibe of the night coming up right after this. And now it's time for a segment that makes you forget about a Soundalikes tweak. It is
Angus's good vibe of the night.
Oh yeah. Yes, it's the segment where I dive deep into my own personal playlist, pull out a song or two that I think have immaculate vibes, slap them out there on the Coast FM airwaves, and hope that you, Pat from the Narara that just called in, again, enjoys it as much as I do. Also, I should mention we had a call come through a minute ago regarding a traffic incident on the Ridgeway. If you are planning on travelling on the Ridgeway this evening on the way to Holgate and Matcham, there has been an accident on there and traffic is not moving very well, so I would advise you to avoid going that way if possible. If you're going towards the coast, use the Central Coast Highway. If you're going northbound, use the Pacific Highway or the M1, avoid the Ridgeway. Anyway, it's time for my good vibe of the night, and what I like to do at this time of year is listen to I've really been getting into kind of more folky style music. Beautiful, warming acoustic guitars, drums, and you guessed it, vocals over the top of the tunes. And these are a couple of songs that I was actually really into a few years ago that I always seem to get into once again at this time of year. I want to play these winter warmers for you right now. Imagine yourself sitting by the heater or a fireplace, sipping some bourbon perhaps, and enjoying the beautiful folky vibes of these tracks. We're going back to 2013 with this first one, courtesy of UK Spanish folktronica outfit Crystal Fighters. This one is called These Nights, and they never end. Coast FM 963, you're on Raw and More. Ango, Brando and Stevo with you. Those two songs right there were Angus's Good Vibe of the Night,
which was
These Nights by Crystal Fighters, and Harder to Fake It by Hollow Coves, the song you just heard, Aussie indie folk rockers. That's a song that reminds me of Twilight in winter, if that makes sense. It's got a very kind of cold weather vibe behind it. Same, very much so with the first one. I always imagine just sitting by a fireplace, sipping bourbon. I hope you got the same vibe if you're listening in at home right now. Love those two tracks. I actually heard the one you just heard through our friends at Homebrewed, Cameron Smith and Eamon Snow, which we are going to be hearing a local track from them a bit later on. But first, to take us well and truly over the 8 o'clock threshold, we are going to be turning back to the norm. There you go, Brando. That must feel comforting after the change I made to Sound Alikes tonight.
Thank you.
It's actually funny you mention those vibes that you got from those songs. So I was actually having a chat to Mum the other day, and she was actually mentioning to me that we're at the point of time in July right now where we're actually past the winter solstice. And I'm not talking about the event from the couple of weeks ago. No, I'm referring to the point of winter where it still can be cold, but we're sort of getting back to going into that daylight saving sort of part.
Yeah, there you go. But, I mean, the weather's actually getting cooler because we're in the middle of winter and the solstice is kind of at the start. Like, we're getting some crazy cool temperatures, but you're right, it is a reminder that the warmer weather is on its way. And speaking of things that are on its way, we got 3 songs right here. Out the back, I got you guys to give me a year each. What years did you pick once again?
2002.
And?
2014.
2014, we spun the wheel and 2014 came out on top. So I'm going to be giving you 3 songs that not just charted in the top 10 or the top 5, these were the top 3 songs on the Hottest 100 of 2014. When we come back, it's up to these boys to figure out which of them charted the highest. We're starting off right now with a bit of Hilltop Hoods, Adelaide's Realist with Cosby Sweater. Coast FM 963, you're on Raw and More. Angus Hamill, Stephen Wheatley and Brandon Macmillan with you between 7 and 9 p.m. this evening. We just had a safe crossage across the 8 p.m. threshold with 3 songs that were the top 3 of the Hottest 100 of 2014. It's up to my brethren sitting in front of me right now, Professor Brandon Macmillan and Dr. Stephen Wheatley, to try and figure out which of those 3 songs charted the highest. At the top, we heard from Adelaide Hip Hoppers, Hilltop Hoods with Cosby Sweater, hippin' and the hoppin' and the bippin' and the boppin'. Then we heard from Aussie indie singer-songwriter Chet Faker with Talk Is Cheap, and the song you just heard was Abby Chatfield's Boyfriend, a member of Peking Duck, featuring vocals from Nicole Miller with Hi. I ask you boys the question, which of those 3 songs charted the highest?
All right, I'll go first. So my pick, which I found out off air, was the first time Steve ever heard it, and it's Cosby Sweater by Hilltop Hoods.
Really? You've never heard Cosby Sweater before?
No.
Wow.
No, I mean, I've heard of, obviously, Hilltop Hoods. I've heard of them, but I just haven't heard of that song from them.
Really shows his age, Angus?
I know, right? He's not hip and with today's generation.
He's not very hip of the Steve.
Well, I think that was actually like their highest charting song. So you're missing out on the big ones, Steve.
Yes, I know. I'm old.
So with that being said, I'm guessing you're not voting for Hilltop Hoods as your highest?
Unfortunately, no. I am going to have to disagree with Brando here on this one. I would like to take Hilltop Hoods because of being an Australian artist, but I'm going to go with Abby Chatfield because Brando actually brought up a good point to me during the break. He said, have you not heard of this song before either? And it took me a minute to sort of really listen to the beat, and I thought, oh, you know what? I actually have heard this one before.
It's not called Abby Chatfield, but...
It's Abby Chatfield's Boyfriend who's in Peking Duck. That was a little joke I was
Who's also
making.
Australian, by the way.
Actually, funny thing you say, because this was the last example of this happening, I believe, in Hottest 100 history, where the top 3 artists have all been Australian, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're going with the song we just heard, High, by Peking Duck.
Yes, I am.
And Brando, you're sticking with your Cosby sweater over there?
Of course.
All right, he's a Bill Cosby fan. All right, that's good.
Wait. No. He's joking.
You heard it here first. Well, I can reveal the song that charted the highest out of those 3 on the Hottest 100 of 2014 was, in fact... It was Talk Is Cheap by Chet Faker.
What?
Yeah. The one we heard in the middle there was number 1. High by Peking Duck charted at number 2.
I'll take that.
So that's kind of a mini win for Steve.
I'll take that.
Cosby Sweater came in at number 3.
How?
I know.
How?
Other songs that charted well were Stolen Dance by Milky Chance, came in at number 4. Uptown Funk came in at number 6, probably the biggest robbery. You'd expect that to be number 1.
Yeah.
We also had Glass Animals with one of their appearances, Vance Joy with Messrs. Mine, and yeah, plenty of other indie tracks that I'm sure a lot of Coast FM listeners don't know, but
this is grinding my gears right now. Like, I never heard of this guy before. Never heard this song on Live Like Show number 2. Number 1, sorry. And Hilltop Hoods, like, Cosby has more views than probably these 2 songs combined. 32 million, by the way. Well, 32 million.
There you go. I got to say, Chet Faker, he kind of just turned up, dominated on Triple J for 1 year, and then dipped.
Never heard from him again. But Hilltop Hoods, you hear forever.
Yeah, actually, they also just recently performed at Drifters Wharf here in Gosford, actually, recently, Hilltop Hoods.
They did, yeah, and that was the anniversary tour of that album that Cosby Sweater was on. So
there you go.
Coincidence after coincidence with the local artists. And speaking of local artists...
And now it's time for The Local List. Brought to you by Homebrewed.
Yes, that's right. It's The Local List, a segment brought to you by Homebrewed, who used to be in this very time slot up until a couple of years ago. Cameron Smith and Eamon Snow, their legacy supporting local music lives on because they send us a brand new track by a fantastic local artist to play on your Coast FM airwaves every single week. Tonight's pick comes to us from Cameron Smith, and he made a joke on the Homebrewed podcast that did not go down very well with his wife, calling this band... saying that this band was named after her.
Oh,
they're called
naughty.
They're called the Sooks. So he says in his description here, my wife's band is back with another top release. This 4-piece said that this brand new single kicks off, or I guess you could say kickstarts, a new era for the band. It's a little more honest in its lyrics, a little more grown up in its sound, but the song's still made to be shouted back from the crowd. It's anthemic indie rock. It was recorded at the Homebrewed Studios, aka the Sonara Studios here on the Central Coast, with legendary local producer Jack Negro. Here's the Sooks with Kickstarter, our pick for the local list. We love Aussie indie rock here on Coast FM 963. You're on Raw and More, and that right there was our pick for the local list this evening. Local 4-piece indie rockers, the Sooks, named after my mate Ethan after any Manly game, even if we win.
Or any New South Wales supporter after Wednesday night.
I was definitely a member of the Sooks on Wednesday night, that's for sure. I'm not even going to deny that. That's a brand new single by them. It's called Kickstarter, and a real Kickstarter with a beautiful indie rock anthemic flavour there. If you'd like to find out more about their future releases and maybe even future shows, because I'd love to hear that song live, they have indicated they are releasing more music in 2025, so follow them on Instagram at The Sooks Official, and you'll find a picture there of Cam Smith's wife. So there you go. That's really interesting, and they really are his wife's band. Sorry to put you in the doghouse once again, Cameron. Time for us to take a quick break. Coming up, we're going to be hearing Steve's good vibe of the night, and we've had a few blue songs on the show tonight. He's picked one named after a different colour.
Central Coast Community Radio.
What a feeling, Coast FM.
And now it's time for a segment that does not discriminate when it comes to colours. It's called
Steve's Good Vibe of the Night.
Ooh, yeah. That's right, Coasties. It is my good vibe of the night. It's that time of the week where I pick something out of my music repertoire, play it out there on the Coast FM airways, and hope that you, yes, you, if you're tuning in, listening tonight, Coast FM's very own Will.
Oh, perhaps. Yes, indeed. Well, Steve, I want to say before you get into the song that you've picked this evening, I wasn't actually here when you guys were prepping out the back because I was, on air with Raw.
Yes, you were busy.
But we love to do things old school here at Coast FM. We love
Steve
the classics.
Anyway.
We all do. It's Coast FM. It's our whole thing. But Brando was telling me that for this track specifically, you brought in a CD to play it.
Yes, that is a bit old school. Now, that was actually, boys and girls, how we used to listen to music before Spotify.
He pulled it out of his Walkman,
Yeah. He came in with the headphones on and the Walkman in his pocket, and he said, "Hey, lads, could we play this?" So, explain what a CD is. No, I'm kidding. Everyone
just did.
Yeah, what is a CD? But no, so you've actually come in prepared with like a whole album from this artist that has one song on it that you were going to play. Did we end up using the CD to rip it, or did we get like a digital version of it?
No, we were lucky enough to get a digital copy, thankfully.
Oh, that's cool. Well, what have you picked for us this evening?
So I have chosen something very, very special, Coasties, and it's actually been something that I've been wanting to play for a while. And you mentioned before we went to the break how it's going to be something that you won't feel blue from hearing because we've had a bit of a blue theme going tonight. Well, that is very good. In fact, I think you're going to like this so much, guys. You'll be tickled pink. So I have chosen something, and there's a bit of a funny story to this. I've actually am good mates of this band. I haven't seen them or had any contact with them for a while, but it is what makes this very special, my good vibe of the night, is because not only is it an underground sort of track, it's something that hasn't made the airways probably hardly at all here at Coast FM, but it's also a band where all of the members in the band have a disability. Now, I'll go into more why also what makes this song special after when we come back, but here is my good vibe of the night. It is the band Bright Yellow with their song Good Question.
That you do.
Coast of M963, we're all about feeling yellow on Raw and More. Ango, Brando and Steve-O with you. That right there was
Steve's Good Vibe of the Night,
which was, of course,
that was some old mates of mine, the band Bright Yellow with their song Good Question. Now, you're asking Steve, what's so special about them? Well,
good question.
Yes, exactly right, Angus. So, that is that band. There's some old friends of mine, and I don't want to take too much credit, not saying that I was the entire reason why, but I had a bit of a helping hand with getting the team their first contract with Sony Music Records. And even Brando, you're good mates with James, who's one of the singers of the band.
First of all, that's not his name, and I wouldn't say good mates, but we went to TAFE together way back when.
Wow, so these music guys just know each other, and good support, Steve, actually getting their CD and bringing it in here tonight to play the song on.
Yeah. I know it was pretty hard to find the cassette tape, right?
How old do you think I am, Brandon?
Or the vinyl. Was it on vinyl too?
No, but if I could find a vinyl copy of it, I would love to do it and promote it on your vinyl revival if I could.
Oh,
but
perfect. Yeah. I'll dust off the old gramophone we have here at Coast FM.
And, easy there, buddy.
We'll play it for you.
But that was my good vibe of the night. And as I said, it's a bit of an underground song, that song. Some friends of mine and all the members in that band all have disabilities, and they're all coasties.
Well, there you go. Perfect for Raw Youth Disability Radio.
Some friends he said he has, but he gets the name wrong of the singer.
My good, mate.
It's been a long day, mate. It's been a long day.
Hey, we might hear them on Raw. And how's this for Freaky Monday, where Brando picks a well-known band and Steve picks Six, an underground band? What's going on with you guys? My goodness. And speaking of making fun of Steve for being old, it's the birthday bash. The birthday bash. Just call up Angus and find out what song was number one on your birthday. Yeah, one of Coast FM's most prolific listeners, Troy from Asquith, who's actually been on Raw in the past as well, called in earlier this evening to have a chat, and he told us that it's his birthday this Wednesday. And the big fella, he's turning 53 years old, and I gotta say, we were all shocked that he's 53. We thought maybe 40-something at the most. But Troy, as a bit of an early birthday present, because I know you're listening in right now and loving the show, I'm going to play for you the song that charted number one here in Australia 53 years ago on the 16th of July 1972. And would you believe it? It's one for the king of listening to Coast FM, by the king, Elvis with Burning Love. A hunker Burning Love served up on Coast FM 963 for Troy from Asquith, who's listening in right now. That's a song by Elvis Presley called Burning Love. It charted number one here in Australia 53 years ago on the 16th of July 1972, which just so happens to be the day that our mate Troy was born. Happy birthday to you, Troy, on Wednesday, and I know you're a Manly fan as well, so I hope they get the dub against Melbourne on the weekend. That would be the sweetest gift for not just you, but all of us here who are Manly fans. Time for us to take a quick break. Coming up, we got a real party-filled edition of Two Songs, One Title. Right after this. Two songs with one title, completely different, except for the fact that they share the same words in the title. That's what this segment is for. Hell yeah, we're not stopping the party on Coast FM 963. You're on Raw and More. That was a segment called Two Songs, One Title. You never guess what happens in that one. Guys, first person to buzz in and tell us if you got the title.
Beep, don't stop the party.
Nailed it, Brando. Woo! I didn't even tell you what the prize was.
What is the prize?
Laughing at you for going for the eels. No, I'm kidding. I'll get you something nice when we're done and dusted here. Well, we're about to be, actually. So before we bring in Asher and Annie for Mondays with the A's, Brando, what's one thing you've got on for the rest of the week?
Well, I had to pile up a collection of Maroon 5 songs and play them to Steve until he appreciates them.
No. 5 good vibes, we'll call them. And Steve, what are you going to be doing for the rest of the week, and why is it listening to Maroon 5 songs?
Oh, mate, no, I won't. I shan't be doing that. No, I got a few things happening, mate. So hopefully one of those things will be again watching Manly beat. Melbourne.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, I had to help you get that out because it's hard for me to say their names sometimes as well.
I'm afraid I would say I might accidentally commit a sin and have to tip them in the tipping comp.
How dare you? Never tip against your team, especially against the Storm. And on that PSA, it's time for us to leave, but we leave you with one more blues song, courtesy of one of my favourite bands that have announced their return to Australia in October. Can't wait to see Royal Otis live again. This one's called Sonic Blue, and we will see you same time next week.
See you next week, Coasties.
See ya.